This is Edo Executive Platform, a program that is designed to bring to bear the policies and programs of Edo State government under the leadership of Mr. Godwin Obaseki. It will also provide accurate information about the developmental strides of the government in all the sectors of the state. As the program unfolds, it will afford Edo people and of course residents in the state the opportunity to air their views and also contribute to the development conversation.
I will commit myself to them, and I'll use every ounce of strength that God has given me to work for my people of Edo State.
My name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Hello and welcome once again to another edition of the program Edo Executive Platform. Today we are going to be taking a look at agriculture. And agriculture is one of the major thrusts of the Godwin Obaseki's administration. And to discuss with us today is no other person than the Special Advisor on Agriculture, Food Security and Forestry, Mr. Joe Okojie. So you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We would like to say congratulations on your appointment, even if it is coming late from us. However, we want you to throw more light on the governor's efforts geared towards agriculture in the state. What informed this decision?
Well, thanks for congratulating me. It's better late than never. I'm not sure how familiar you are with agriculture and agricultural practices everywhere else in the world. Agriculture is the easiest way to create wealth and employment. And like they say, a hungry man is an angry man. So it is critical that we take care of our stomach first. And how do we do that? Through agriculture. So the governor, being the type of person that he is, given his level of exposure, and given all that he has seen everywhere around the world, understand that agriculture, properly practiced, drive the economy and create employment and wealth.
Could you just give us a big picture of the government's involvement in agriculture?
As it stands today, our agricultural strategy is a two-pronged approach. One that is geared towards smallholder farmers, and one that is geared towards agribusiness, or agribusiness as you may call it. The one that is geared towards agribusiness is the one that we will seek to take agriculture from seed to staple, if you know what I mean. Yeah. From when you plant it to when it's food on your table. And the one that is geared towards the smallholders farmers is a scheme, an outgrower scheme that we set up, where we take the smallholder farmers in an attempt to increase their capacity, put them in an outgrower scheme, give them access to them through the Anchor Borrowers program, and give them access to market by getting them off-takers that will come and off-take whatever it is they are going to produce before they even start farming. That way, we will increase their capacity, if not to a commercial level, not to a mechanized level, but at least to a commercial level. So to participate in this program, you must farm a minimum of 1 hectare. Our goal is, if you were farming 1 acre before, we should be able to scale you up to farming 1 hectare. If you were farming 1 hectare before, we should be able to scale you up to farming a maximum of 5 hectares. So we bring all our agro investors who become off-takers, and they off-take their products at a pre-set and predetermined price. So that if you're farming maize, for instance, and we tell you we'll buy your maize for 120,000 naira or 140,000 naira today, and we agree, you go and farm maize. If maize becomes 110,000 naira at the time that you are harvesting, the off-taker will still pay you the 140,000 naira that you agreed on. And if your maize now becomes 180,000 naira per ton, we also expect you to adhere to the 140,000 naira that was agreed. So we try to balance it and be fair on both sides.
Now, do you have any agreement with some off-takers?
Yes, the one we have done was our prototype farm. With that farm, we needed to prove to people in Edo State that mechanized farming is real and it's possible and it can be done. Where we take about 450,000 hectares in Sobe, and Saro off to all of that. But today we are talking to the Tolerant Group, the makers of Kellogg cornflakes, who will come and offtake most of our maize cultivation by our farmers in our agripreneur program next farming season, and a host of other off-takers that we are currently having discussions with.
Are we sure that Kellogg's will come to Edo State?
I don't see why not.
Now, agriculture has been with us for time immemorial. Now, what is it that this Edo State government has with regards to agriculture that will make the people have faith in them?
Well, you're right when you say that agriculture has been with us from time immemorial. We have basically been mostly farmers. But let me tell you what is different. What is different is we used to practice subsistence agriculture, where we basically farm for ourselves and our immediate family, maybe a little bit to sell. But you have to also understand that then we used to use hoes and machetes.
Yes.
But today it's different. The kind of agriculture that we are talking about is mechanized agriculture. We no longer have to employ the use of hoes and machetes anymore. What we now do is use tractors and implements to farm vast acres of land. Whereas we were farming in small pockets in the past. Today, what we are doing is organizing our farmers into cooperatives and clustering them in certain areas. Just like what we have done in Sobe, where we have cleared so far a little over 1,000 hectares. In Usugbenu, where we have cleared a little over 400 hectares. In Ekboma, where we have cleared a little over 600 hectares. And in Owo here in Edo South, where we are clearing about 600 hectares in preparation for the next farming season. So what the government and the governor of Edo State is doing is realizing that when you get involved in commercial agriculture or in mechanized farming, especially in the states where we have not cultivated our land for the most part in the last 3 or 4 decades since we discovered oil. So we didn't have the opportunity to take agriculture to where it needed to be, because we basically imported practically everything, including toothpick.
Yes.
Okay? So, but today, all of that are becoming a thing of the past. So we need to start thinking. Like Einstein said, It's only an insane man that will continue to do one thing over and over again and expect a different result. So my joy is that our people are willing to try out new ways of ensuring their livelihood. So what we are doing and what the governor is doing, he realizes that most of our farmlands are secondary forest since we abandoned the farms. If you remember, there used to be cocoa plantation, rubber plantation, and all kinds of plantation, oil palm plantation in this part of the world when we were dependent on agriculture. But now, those plantations have turned to forest. So the governor have taken the initiative to de-risk the major risk aspects of farming by hiring companies to come in and help us do the land clearing, which is the most expensive and the critical aspect of agriculture. So the governor cleared Sobe, cleared Usubenu, cleared Ekbuma, and is clearing Owo here. So with that, all we need to do is prepare the land and plant.
But some of our youths are still complaining that agriculture is very unattractive.
Well, that's because they are looking at agriculture the way agriculture used to be. But what I am trying to do and what the government is trying to do this farming season through our agripreneur program is to make sure we make those youths that have agreed to participate millionaires in 3 months. With that done, I'm sure a lot of youth in the States will start participating.
We're looking forward to that day. Now, are there strategies, aside the off-takers that you were talking about, are there strategies to ensure there is a vibrant processing subsector for agricultural products to ensure that most of these harvests do not waste away in the farms?
Well, thanks for answering that question. I'm not sure if you were in the Alago Daru Summit when the Vice President commissioned the industrial park. You see, if you were there, you will see that in that industrial park, there was a section of the park that was set aside for agro-processing. If you recall correctly, when we started, I said we want to practice agriculture. You know, the way we practice agriculture will be we'll take a two-pronged approach. One that would seek to take care of our smallholders farmers, and the one that will take care of the agribusiness sector of it. So, and we said, I told you we want to take agriculture from seed to staple. Because if you don't take care of the entire value chain, I don't think you get it right. So that's why in the industrial park, there's what we call staple crop processing zone. In other words, you can call it agro-processing zone. But we are going to have processors there that will process whatever it is that we are able to cultivate.
All right. Still to come, we are going to be talking about pest control and our challenges with the herdsmen. Stay with us.
My mantra, my philosophy was just to build on what existed and to ensure continuity.
Yeah, the vision is turning Edo State to a land of milk and honey, consolidating on the gain of the last administration of Commander Ali Oshomole and taking it out of that name called civil service state to an industrial state.
What we've done is to focus on improving our school system, particularly basic education for the long term, but for the short term to now begin to ensure that we create institutions to train technical people, technical manpower. So the first thing we did was to go to Benin Technical College, which was go to the pioneer technical college in this country, to clean it out and begin to rebuild it and put in the resources to train the kind of people companies will need when they come into the place.
Welcome to Edo State, the heartbeat of the nation Nigeria, soon to become the economic hub of Africa. Of a common ancestry, with a rich cultural heritage, Edo people are peace-loving, hard-working, very hospitable, resourceful, accommodating, and academically, socially, and politically enlightened. Edo State has a towering record of successful men and women, excelling in various fields of human endeavor. Come, invest in Edo State, the heartbeat of the world's most populous black nation, blessed with abundant natural resources. Edo is business-friendly, with enabling laws, policies, and programs in place by government to protect and encourage investors, promoting economic activities. Take advantage of Edo's vast, fertile lands and favorable weather conditions. Invest in agriculture and become a billionaire today. The land here is green. What are you waiting for? Welcome to Edo State, the new haven for investors.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, sir, could you tell us about this Edo-Saro partnership in Sobe and, of course, the fertilizer plant in Auchi?
Well, earlier on, I did tell you that the prototype that we did in Sobe, the off-takers was Saro. Like I said earlier, we did that to prove to Edo State that it is possible for us to do mechanized farming in this part of the country, to demonstrate that mechanized farming is real. So that was just a prototype, and it was Sobe that took care of that. Okay.
Yeah. The Auchi fertilizer plant?
The Auchi fertilizer plant, from my understanding, you know, it was commissioned recently by the Vice President. My understanding is that they are producing and they are storing, and I'm sure when it's time for us to go to the farm, we'll have enough fertilizer supplies from the blending plant. Because I don't think they are selling right now, but I know they are producing and storing.
I think that is the most important thing, that there is production.
Yes.
What is the government doing with regards to pest control and, of course, the controversial herdsmen issue?
In terms of the herdsmen issue, we are doing our best to engage the herdsmen to really figure out what the issue is. I tell you a case in point, and I will drill this down to my immediate community, Uromi. We talk about herdsmen, but what we don't talk about is the role that certain people within the community play to agitate the herdsmen. So we really need to get to the root of this herdsmen's problem, because if we have been, the herdsmen didn't just come overnight, but we have been coexisting in peace and harmony. What happened all of a sudden? I've always questioned that. So I think it's an issue that we should look at critically, so that we can get to the root of the problem.
Now, what about pest control?
Well, we have agro dealers, you know, in place on ground that are going to supply us pesticides as we need them. They are all part of our of our initiative, of our Outgrowers initiative, and parts of our Anchor Borers program. So we have, you know, agro dealers that will supply us with improved seedlings, pesticides, and implements.
So we have thousands of returnees from Libya. How can we encourage them to embrace farming?
I'm not sure if you are aware what the State Ministry of Agriculture did about a week or two ago, where some of the returnees were trained in our ADP facilities, and the government gave them a portion of land to cultivate, and we are just processing them to make sure that we give them assets to market and also access to funding by getting somebody to offtake them.
Is this on long-term or short-term basis or medium-term?
Well, you can say, I would say long-term, because my hope is that after this farming season, if they make enough, they'll be encouraged to do it again.
Access to land is a big challenge. Any plan to solve this problem?
Yes, we have plans on the way to make sure that access to land in Edo is a thing of the past. I don't know if you are familiar with Edo GIS.
Tell us about it.
Edo GIS is currently doing a mapping of the entire state, where we are going to have all the data that will allow us apportion land according to uses. Residential, agricultural, commercial, industrial, all of that will be laid out. And through that, we're also working on creating a land bank. By the time we complete the flyover of the state, we'll create a land bank, which will be broken down into compartments. So if you come and say you want to farm, we know exactly where to take you and how much we can give you there, looking at our dashboard and our land bank. So don't you worry, very soon access to land will not be a problem in Edo State.
Now, if you were to present an outlook for the Edo economy in 2018, what sectors do you think will deliver the most results in terms of economic growth?
For me, with the kind of executive we have in place, I think all the sectors will deliver. But I also think that agriculture will deliver the most.
But how would you say we have fared so far with regards to agriculture in this year 2017?
Well, I have been informed that Edo State has the lowest. I've been informed that Edo State have the lowest food inflation in the country right now, and that's because everybody went to farm and heeded the governor's call when he said we should all go to farm.
Did you go to farm?
Yes, I did. I just told you.
Like this?
Well, I'm not wearing bow tie today, but they called me the bow tie farmer.
Oh, all right. We have been chatting with the bow tie farmer, Special Advisor on Agriculture, Food Security and Forestry, Mr. Joe Okojie. Thank you so very much.
You are very welcome.
As time goes on, definitely we are going to be bringing you on this program to let us know how the government is faring with regards to agriculture, and of course with the partnerships that we are having, and how we are also doing with the youths getting involved in this government program. But so thank you very much once again for coming on the program.
Always a pleasure.
A hungry man is an angry man, but the Obaseki's administration is here to tell us that he is going to put food on every table. All we have to do is join hands to make this dream come true. My name remains Habiba or Yege or Yarekwa. Good evening.